Well, yes, welcome to Elton Vale. This is a bit of an unofficial Manchester League podcast this week because the real podcast is on holiday. So, I'm Simon Sandyford and I've got with me a special guest, Bill Mundy, the first team manager of Elton Vale, because we're here at Elton Vale against Breightmet United in the Manchester League Division 1 here on Monday night. So, Bill, tell us about the game. Didn't really go your way in the end.
No, a disappointing result for us, really, losing 3-2 tonight. It's not been a great few days for us, really, with the final on Friday, and I think, to be fair, that took a bit of a toll on us tonight. We were a few players out injured, tired legs, and lacked the motivation, I thought, tonight. But in credit to Breightmet, they came and played a good game, deserved the win.
That's interesting. You solved the problem for us. No one knows how to pronounce Breightmet, you said. Is that the right way?
Breightmet, I believe that's the correct pronunciation. We're not too far away from it here.
Okay, so looking at the game, and obviously it was 0-0 at half-time. Did you say something at the break, or someone must have said something because it was a bit more lively?
It was a bit lively. I think, it was going to be a typical end-of-season game, I think. It was not a lot of chances either way, and people didn't really seem to be have the motivation out there at first. It came to life in the second half a bit, 5 goals in the second half. I think we may have gifted them one or two of those. Lack of concentration by us, but they kept going and they wanted the win more than us in the end, I think.
The goals all came in bursts. It was 48, 55 and 60, so within about 10 or so minutes, those first 3 goals of the second half, but you pulled one back, it looked like you were going to get right back into the game.
Yeah. Well, I thought at 2-2, I thought we were going to go on and win, to be honest. But again, a break from Breightmet. They came down the left, chipped the ball over. We didn't deal with it, and 3-2 to them.
And then right at the end, you almost equalised a couple of times. I saw there was a shout for handball in the area. Yeah,
I couldn't see that, unfortunately. But the lads seemed to think it was quite a good shout. And right at the end, I thought our goalkeeper had scored. He went up for a header with the last touch of the match. And I don't know, I was a long way away, but it looked a good header for me, as if it was over the line.
It was very close. It was cleared off the line, right on the line. It was amazing clearance, really. But, is that something you do, your goalkeeper does regularly then?
No, I don't think so. No, it was one of those things. He wasn't under instruction there. He'd gone up on his own in the last minute to see if he could get us a point back. I think he might have felt guilty for the one he missed earlier on.
So obviously that was tonight. Luckily, it didn't make any difference as far as the season's concerned because you're promoted at the first attempt. So tell us about this season. How good's it been?
Yeah. I think we've had a great season, really. We started poorly. I think we were bottom of the league after 3 games, having lost our first 2 and drawn 1. But from then on, we went on a run and were unbeaten until about February or March, I think, from that stage. So that put us right back in contention. I think another season without the poor start, we may have given East a bit of a closer run for the championship, but in fairness to them, they've beaten us in the league and the cup final as well. So credit to them, they're good champions.
So you're looking forward to next season back in with the big boys in the Premier Division?
Back in the Premier, this time the intention's to stay.
Excellent. Well, Bill, I hope you can help me out now because we're going to have a quick look at the rest of the Manchester League Division 1. So, I mean, look at the table. There's still 6 teams can still make the playoffs.
It's incredible, isn't it? It almost seems as if nobody wants to go up, really. These teams losing every week. Teams are beating each other. And still, even at this stage, there's 5 or 6 teams who could end up there in those playoff spots.
If you look at we're going to have a look at Saturday's results first of all, because the bottom 2 teams both won, Hollingwood and Westbury Sports. But look at the score, Westbury Sports against Lee Athletic.
Yeah, unbelievable score. That was 8-5, was it? 8-5, that one. Unbelievable score. Westbury recently have put in some great results. Not too sure what's going on there, but all of a sudden they've clicked and they've had some great wins.
They were getting hammered, weren't they, a few weeks ago? And that wasn't that long ago. They were getting 5 and 6, being hammered.
No, they've certainly turned the corner, and I don't know what the reason for that is. I mean, they're only a mile away from us down the road, but again, they've finished the season really, really strongly. So if they carry on like that, they'll do well next year.
Yeah, 'cause it was 3-3 apparently at half-time in that game, Westbury Sports against Lee. But Lee, they were odds-on for the playoffs, absolutely, even until last week, and they might have blown it now.
Yeah, I'm surprised at Lee. We played them early season, and they were one of the teams that beat us in the first few games, actually. Since then, they've stayed in contention till, as you say, recent weeks, and then they've lost 3 or 4 games towards the end of the season and faded.
Well, another team that's there's quite a few games relevant to the playoffs played on Saturday. We mentioned Westbury 8, Lee Athletic 5, Pennington against Haywood St James. That was Pennington 0, Haywood St James 1, and you can see that critical for the playoffs as well.
Yeah, that was a close one, and both those teams in with a shout. Haywood again are coming up on the rails really, and now are looking as if they've got a good chance of finishing in one of those spots.
Another interesting result playoff-wise: Chapeltown 1, Wilmslow Albion 2. Looks like a mid-table battle, but no, look, Wilmslow have gone 4th now.
I know, and again, a team that at the beginning of the season I don't think many people would have been backing Wilmslow, but they've been grinding out the results, and they are in with a chance as well.
The other result from Saturday was not involving the playoffs, but interestingly, Hollingwood, bottom of the table, they beat Chadderton Reserves 3-1.
Yeah, Hollingwood, I'm not too sure what's happening there. I know they've struggled to field the side for some weeks, and then they bounce back again, so it looks like they might be back on the up again.
That's interesting, isn't it? So the playoff race is going to be so interesting because there's still a few fixtures to go. Obviously, tonight's game wasn't directly affecting the playoffs, but look at tomorrow's fixtures. Haywood St James are playing Chadderton Reserves, and Earlham Steel versus Hollingwood. Well, that should have been a 3-point banker for Earlham Steel tomorrow night, but after Hollingwood won on Saturday, who knows?
Yeah, again, it's getting virtually impossible to predict these results. Again, Chadderton have had some great results recently as well, even though, they're the 3rd from bottom, but they're in with they're not in with a chance, but they can cause an upset with anybody. They beat us. One of the few games we've lost this season was to Cheltenham.
And obviously that's Tuesday. Wednesday night, Breightmet are playing Pennington. So again, Pennington's still involved in the playoffs. Yeah. So they got a chance again to push. I mean, they're currently 9th, but amazingly, they can still make 4th.
That's right. As I say, it's. You really can't tell what's going to happen with any of these results. These teams, going against the form table every week, and it's resulting in an exciting finish to the season.
And looking, there's a game on Thursday as well. Almost every day of the week there's games. Thursday night, Haywood St James are playing Wilmslow Albion at the Phoenix Ground. Again, both those teams have got a chance.
Yeah, I think those two are, in with a very good chance of the playoffs. So a crucial 3 points for whoever gets those that night.
And then that goes to Saturday. 3 more critical games on Saturday afternoon. Chapeltown versus Earlham Steel. Again, that's probably going to be, who knows, 4th versus 5th or something at that stage. Who knows? And then we've got Breightmet against Hollingwood. Okay, that's nothing to do with the playoffs. But Pennington against Chadderton Reserves. Again, Chadderton have got the chance to cause an upset.
Yeah, and they can do, Chadderton, certainly. Can do. If I had to pick a favourite out of them all landing up there at the moment, I'd be backing Earlham, I think, with the games they've got in hand. But the other spot, I think, is up for grabs.
Well, you say that, but look who their last 2 games are. Earlham Steel, the Tuesday after next weekend, so a week tomorrow. They're playing Westbury, your neighbours from up the road, who are now on. They're 2nd in the form table, in cracking form. Can you really see Earlham, game-weary Earlham?
Well, I'm sure they are very game-weary, and they've had a fantastic season, but some cup runs obviously took their toll on them. But you'd think with the amount of games they've got left that they've still got a good chance of getting in the playoffs. And if they get the players back, you'd back them to go up.
And if they're not in the playoffs by the Saturday after, the 21st of May, well, guess who they're facing at their home on that day? 1 o'clock kickoff, Earlham Steel against your guys.
Yes, we've got to travel over there, last game of the season. In a way, I'm awfully glad it's not got more riding on it for us. But nevertheless, it could be a crucial game that day for Earlham. It could make the difference between the playoffs and not for them. So I'm sure that will be an exciting fixture.
And of course, so after all that, of course, comes the playoff final itself. And we don't even know who's going to be in it yet, but what a fascinating end to the season that's going to be.
Yeah, whoever's there, I'm sure it'll be a cracking game, and the excitement stayed right to the last game this season.
So you've got, obviously, Lee Athletic looked like they were going to be odds on, but they probably, realistically, may well drop out. So, I mean, it certainly kept the excitement right to the end of the season, hasn't it?
Yes, it's worked. I wasn't a great supporter of the playoffs, but credit to it, it's kept 6 or 7 teams all battling away right to the end of the season.
So presumably the final will be, well, after that last game, Earlham Steel against yourselves. Wow, but what an end can you imagine having Earlham Steel's end to the season? How many games have they had? And then having to end it all with the climax of the playoff final.
Yeah, I don't envy them. I'm sure they're looking forward to the season finishing. But they've had a very successful season, and who knows, they may be coming up as well. Right,
so Bill, thanks very much for your time tonight. This has been a different version of the Manchester League podcast, unofficial. This has been Simon Sandiford, the Bill Mundy, first team manager of Elton Vale, and from us, good night.